Are you struggling in your love life? Do you find yourself saying, oh, relationships are so much work, I wish they were easier? I'd like to share with you 4 practices that will greatly enhance your ability to form long-lasting, healthy relationships in your life. And by improving the quality of relationships, you're improving the quality of your life. My name is Hala Fauzi. I'm a believer, practitioner, and advocate of unconditional love. I see a lot of anger and fear and suppression and suffering all over the world that can easily be healed if we practiced unconditional love towards ourselves first and towards others. What is unconditional love? When you think about it, unconditional love is our essence as human beings because it's the essence of life, the essence of Mother Nature, and the essence of the earth. It's abundant, healing, and very powerful. And in order to practice unconditional love, we need to deconstruct what we learned in mainstream culture. Because we're all born as pure love. We're all born with this innate need to connect and to love and to give love freely and unconditionally to everybody around us. Just watch a happy baby interact with his surroundings. Before society taught us fear and scarcity, before we learned to use love and sex as commodities to be traded for touch, for sex, for children, for money and status, security, and all of these other benefits, we were pure love. Now, there's nothing wrong with the exchange of energy. That's normal. It makes society works, and energy is made to go around. But let's not confuse that with true love. In order to practice unconditional love, we need to deconstruct what we learned as children. The problem starts when we start mapping this infinite resource called love onto human-made finite resources like time, money, energy, and other resources. And then we confuse the map for the road. Love is not time, it's not money, it's not energy, it's its own power that has the capacity, in my opinion, to really heal the world from thousands and thousands of years of fear and scarcity culture. Now I can hear you thinking to yourself or saying out loud, oh, take off your rosy glasses, that's too unrealistic, it never works. And trust me, I used to be there too, until I consciously started choosing differently. And I started practicing being in love unconditionally. And little by little, the more you practice, the easier it gets. Just like we've been practicing fear all of our lives, it's almost second nature now, we don't think about it. And I'm inviting you to choose differently and practice love. In the beginning it might be a little odd or scary or frustrating, difficult, but with practice it gets easier because let's face it, we perfect what we practice. So let's all practice love. What is unconditional love? Well, it's love free from fear, from ego, from possessiveness and ownership, and from expectations. And that usually scares people because we're used to trade love for something. So how can I love somebody and not expect anything from them? And that's the scary part. Well, when you think about it, we all have our unconditional love and free love in our lives. Just think of a parent loving their child, or your love for your friends, or the way you love your pet. There's this need to just love without expecting anything in return, because love is its own reward. The more you give, the more you have. It's almost the only resource in the world that the more you give, the more you have. I love because it feels good to me. It feels healthy and it makes me happy, not because I want something in return. And if we can tap into that resource of loving unconditionally, it's going to greatly improve the quality of our relationships. Expectations. What a trap that is. Expectations are the perfect setup for disappointment and failure. So let's go back to our essence and practice loving without expectations. But wait, there's a trick there. Because unconditional love starts in the mirror. The way we love ourselves is like a window that lets in other people's love into our heart. So, for example, if I think that I'm not good enough, no matter how much somebody loves me, I'll never believe them. I'll never take that love in, because my belief is the filter that I see the world through. So the first thing we need to do is to learn to love, accept, and forgive ourselves. The whole package. The shadow side, in and out, the whole deal. And we are often much harsher on ourselves than others are on us. Let's ditch that. And sadly, we are taught that self-love or loving ourselves is selfish, narcissist, ugly, bad. We should put others ahead of us, and that's all very toxic and very detrimental to the culture of love. It creates a lot of needy attachments, it creates a lot of lack, it creates a love-hungry culture and a touch-hungry culture that creates the dynamics for all the social ills that we see all around us in mainstream society. From lying and cheating, to addiction, to crime, all the way to war. If we can heal that relationship with ourselves and love ourselves unconditionally, it's gonna propagate like waves in a pond and heal all these ills all around us and all over the world. We cannot give what we lack. We have a saying in Arabic, فاقد الشيء لا يعطيه. If you don't have something, you cannot give it. So if you don't have that unconditional love for yourself, you cannot give it. So let's work on fostering this capacity to love ourselves and others unconditionally. And there are 4 practices. The first 2 are with yourself, so they're very easy to practice. You can practice them anytime, at any place, with under any circumstances. And the last 2 with other people. So every interaction with another human being is a chance for you to practice the last 2. And they are practices because it's not something that you're going to go work on in a dark cave and then come out and say, okay, I'm ready. It's something that you're gonna, little by little, start implementing in your daily life. And don't get frustrated if it doesn't work in the next week or the next month. It can take months or years for it to feel natural and easy. But it's totally worth it because you'll start seeing the difference immediately every time you choose differently, every time you choose love over fear. The first practice is know yourself and own your power. And we'll explain that in detail in the next video. The second one is to choose love, and that's also going to be explained. The third one is to practice being vulnerable. What does that mean? We'll learn about that more in another video. And the last practice is to surround yourself with like-minded people. Now let's get ready and practice unconditional love.